Hello, all you fine and dandy people out there. Welcome back to another episode of Riverbed Wrestling. Today, my good pals, we are going to be talking about some bold predictions for this year in wrestling for 2026. And I'm Sebastian. Joined with me is the old, ever-present, ever-mighty Kang.
Hey! He said hello to all you fine people, but I want you to know I'm not fine.
Why are you not fine?
Because, don't you understand? Bold predictions for 2026? You don't want to know what's on my list. The machinations of my mind are something that nobody but myself can even comprehend.
Damn. Mine are pretty comprehensible, I'm not going to lie. I wouldn't go that
That's
far.
fair.
Yeah. Mine are pretty comprehensible, but we'll figure out what you're going to be blabbering on about later as we get to that main segment. But we have quite a bit of business to cover regarding the news this week. A lot happened. Brandon is not here this week, unfortunately, but he will be back next week. So for all you Riverbed fans looking for some ha-has and giggles, we'll still give them to you. But old Brandon, who knows how to do them, he'll be back next week.
No, it's no funny business.
No funny business today?
Business this episode.
Oh, that's a shame.
We're completely serious. We are a serious man, starring Michael Keaton. I don't know.
So you're
movies.
So you're saying I need to cancel all the clowns in the circus that I ordered for the show?
Yep.
Damn. All right. Well, we'll get into the news here, but I gotta make a quick call. I'm gonna pause the recording so I can call the clowns and various circus animals, and we'll get back here. You know what? I'll just text him while we're doing the news segment. Screw it.
We can keep Spanky.
We
can stay.
All right, he's chill, yeah. He can just hang out in my closet. He packed into a tight-ass taxi car with like 5 other clowns, so he can just hang out in there.
In your closet? You got a whole car in your closet?
Well, no. Not yet.
Oh, I thought he was packed into the car in your closet. Now that would be impressive.
Nah, he's like first-rank clown. You don't get to learn that until like third.
He's not as special rank clown yet.
Yeah, he never made the makings of a varsity clown. But as we get into the news here, we'll go over one major injury here, and it's one that gets to me quite a bit. Bozilla recently hurt her leg. Stardom announced that recently she would no longer be appearing at the weekend shows. As we are now recording this, the 17th, 18th, and 19th. Injury occurred per Neil Flanagan of Post Wrestling during the New Year's Stars event at Cork and Hall on January 11th. During a 10-woman tag team match, Bozilla took a spill on the outside of the ring. She was attended to officials who placed her knee in a brace before helping her to the back. And this kind of sucks, man. I'm a big fan of Bozilla. We've been watching her since her Marigold debut. She kicks ass. Hopefully she comes back soon. Yeah, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, man. It's a really concerning injury. Knee injuries, back injuries are really concerning for big wrestlers. She is a giant wrestler. She's, 6'1", 200 plus pounds. She's a big, giant wrestler, and those joints, those knees getting hurt, especially at such a young age, could lead to nagging injuries, could lead to just bad things. I hope that they don't rush her back too soon. I hope she attacks rehab well, and I hope it's just not even serious, honestly.
Yeah, we haven't heard too much else from this injury. Haven't heard too many other updates or what have you. So hopefully this is one of those cases where no news is good news, but you never know. So we'll keep posted on that. We'll be diverging from our usual track of Japanese wrestling for a bit. Talk about some American promotion news, because there's been a lot of movement regarding the rosters of
New year, new me.
Yeah, new American rosters. There's going to be some changes around here. And boy howdy, did AEW shell out some contracts early on in this year.
Yeah, I mean, we're sitting at, I think in the month of January, around double-digit signings for AEW.
Good Lord, here's a list here of all the official signings and a couple re-signings as well. As far as contracts go for AEW. So recently we had Hyan and Maya World come in for the women's tag division. Recently, that's been a key one. Got Lena Cross signed as well to the women's division of AEW / Ring of Honor. Yes, and Tatovic or Tatovic. My apologies on either pronunciation.
Unfamiliar with her.
Me too. Turns out she was signed quite a while ago and recently showed up, and it's been reported that she is also signed. And somebody that's been on our radar for quite a bit, and a lot of people's radars in the U.S., Jake Doyle, the former Jake something, showed up in AEW recently, 1 week, appearing with Mark Davis. Mark Davis has a new tag team partner to work with him.
Davis and Doyle.
Yes, in the Don Callis family, and I love Jake something. We've watched quite a few of his matches sporadically in TNA and DPW, and we're very happy to see him here.
Jake something is a huge signing, especially right now to bolster the tag division. You already got Speedball Mike Bailey. I mean, you throw them two at each other or with each other, and you're making magic already in the mid card. And Jake Doyle now has a real potential to blossom into one of their best big men talent. He's a big jacked up motherfucker.
Yeah, I think him and Davis could like go on an absolute tear in the tag division if the cards are played properly. But they've
already won their first match, got a number one contendership, they could hotshot them directly to the belts. I would not be shocked if they did that.
Yeah, I don't believe that's going to happen, but I wouldn't be opposed to that by any means. And even if it doesn't work out in the tag division for Doyle, like for sure, like he has singles potential. They absolutely see that in him, and he could be like a great, like I could see him being like international champ by like next year or something like that. But we'll leave our long-term predictions for the main segment this week. As far as other contract signings go, there are a lot of dual contracts being given out as well. Notably, they re-signed Hechicero. He is now also on a dual contract again with both AEW and CMLL, as well as Mascara Dorada got under a dual contract now under the AEW umbrella, as well as Persephone, another woman talent. They're bolstering up each division, and I find they're getting some of those mid-roll players in there. Persephone, I've seen a couple of her matches, bit rough around the edges, but overall has a lot of potential. I can definitely see her being a major player in the women's division.
Oozing in charisma.
Absolutely.
Oozing. She's like you said, rough around the edges, but that almost makes her more entertaining in spots because of how, she's still, I forget how long she's been in the business. She's still very young and very new to the business. She's going to obviously develop over time, and adding more matches, especially in America, to her schedule is probably going to help her blossom even quicker. And obviously, I think we've seen it. Dorada and Persephone, all three of these have kind of been operating under a dual contract type of schedule anyways for the past half year to the past year.
Pretty much, yeah.
He's been on the dual contract. Yeah,
pretty much. Like, he it's just trying to get them under the umbrella because obviously Tony sees something in a lot of those guys. And, if I'm him, I want more of those kind of, toys in my collection. I would be full-heartedly on that. And including more new sightings for AEW. You got a couple more here. More. Yeah, there is more, believe it or not. We got
just a couple more.
We got a bulk order here.
Faction in here.
Yeah, we'll get to the faction. We got Rascals in here. We got a bulk deal going on for AEW contracts at the moment. We also have some more indie talent as well. Recently, MJF was in a match, and at the end of it, during an independent show, it was announced that Jordan Oliver and Alec Price were officially signed to AEW. I mostly see them probably being like Ring of Honor position talent. However, I've seen Oliver on the indies for quite a while. Alec Price I've seen a bit less of, but I still enjoy his work a bit. They could be good additions for sure. What's your take on Oliver, Price, or Rascals in regards to the new AEW contracts?
Well, I think, like you said, that Price and Oliver are most likely going to go down to ROH or just be collision fill-ins, and I think the Rascals may not suffer, but they may be in the same fate. I don't see a group really succeeding on another level like that unless they're like a comedy group like the Maximum Male Models. They got to be, I think they're going to go down to ROH as well, despite having, Wesley, Desmond Xavier, and Zachary Wentz, stuff like that. People that are fairly big names in TNA. I think personally that they might have been better off for their career in TNA. That's my secret hot take.
You better have not used up one of your things for the main segment. Otherwise, I'm going to be pissed. I have to wait longer for another.
Trust me, I don't have the Rascals anywhere near my predictions. But I do think it's a nice signing for AEW, especially if they're bolstering ROH. It could be that Tony Khan and AEW are trying to push to make ROH number 3 in America, trying to beat out TNA, especially with TNA now trying to push for AEW.
And we'll get to TNA here. They re-signed Nick Nemeth and got him back again. And for new signings, we got a couple women here that they just recently signed. Elena Black from her time in NXT. I saw her back.
Cora Jade.
Yes, as Cora Jade. Saw her as Elena Black in a couple matches on GCW a couple years back. And Kang, we'll get into it later, but what are your thoughts on that Mandy Rose Cage match? I know you saw that.
Well, I can tell you I've seen better wrestling in similar videos, and we'll leave it at that.
Damn. What, they just didn't have psychology? They don't? Do they not practice psychology at the OnlyFans wrestling company or whatever it's called?
Who do you think's the head trainer?
Oh, it's got to be
Atlas.
maybe. I was thinking one of the fuck. I'm blanking on the faction name, but the military dudes from WCW.
Oh, we're getting. Imagine.
We're getting General.
We get Major Guns.
We get General Hugh G.
Holy
Rection.
Moly. Woo.
Actual trainer.
Now we're talking.
And another signing for TNA here. We have Sonya Deville as Daria Ray and her new thing, Suat, that people have been talking about. Kang, your take. You grew up a TNA fan as a kid. What are your thoughts on all this movement with TNA? What are your thoughts?
Oh, that's a good way to put it. Movement. Bowel movement. Her name is Diarrhea. I know it's a real name. And I gotta say, you maybe should not choose your middle name as part of your name if it makes it sound like diarrhea. She's a name. She's a name. Same with Cora Jade. They're names, I guess.
TNA did in fact sign people, and they did in fact have a show this week. So good for them. Yep. They're around.
And I did not watch it. We did not watch it because we knew it was going to be a trash heap. 20 minutes of wrestling, apparently, on the whole show. And apparently they had a whole bunch of production errors. I mean, just a lot of bad stuff wrong with it. And Perez Hilton, who might be the best part of the show. I don't know.
Listen, we might have to watch it just solely just to see if Perez Hilton adds anything to the show. You know what? Brandon's probably going to make us watch it.
Oh, and also we forgot one more AEW signing. A huge, the biggest signing possible.
Oh, yeah.
You see, officially now, after a re-debut, Andrade is a part of AEW. We've done it, Reddit. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. President, the biggest star in the business belongs and reps the A, the E, and the W. Once
again. And, I mean, we kind of knew. I mean, we watched Wrestle Kingdom.
We did.
Yeah, if you were just only following along with AEW, within a bubble, you would just kind of be like, oh, well, he might be showing up, he might not be. But if you watch Wrestle Kingdom, they will tell you straight up, yeah, Andrade's an AEW star. He is from AEW. Did we mention that AEW has Andrade? And they were correct. Yeah. He showed up again. Lights went out. He showed up, and our good old pal, our good friend of the channel, Joe, was very happy, along with all of us. So That's all the AEW contracts there that have been dusted up. But on the flip side, AEW did lose somebody to free agency this early part of the 2026 wrestling season.
That's true. It's a big, massive, in multiple ways, loss. They lost, well, as of right now, in which we're recording this before Collision, they lost their current trios champion.
Yeah. Nothing will change within the next few hours. So, yeah. Will Hobbs is going to WWE. It was announced over the past week. It was pretty much announced like right after Dynamite went off the air. Probably in the same like amount of time that the match was recorded, like after on Collision. That Will Hobbs was becoming a free agent, and he's probably signing with WWE. This could change for all we know within the next like week and a half, where something
There's
comes
potential
up.
That they, for my NBA fans, DeAndre Jordan his ass and lock him in his big ass mansion and go, hey, you're re-signing with the Clippers or re-signing with AEW. You never know. John Moxley might get in his ear, but most likely he's going to the WWE to try and make that gamble. I've got things to say about it, I guess. I don't necessarily see this. I appreciate the gamble. Betting on yourself, I'm always going to respect it. But I do think he's going to have to do a lot of work to get back to, I think, the same ceiling, if not worse, which is unfortunate. But he could just break through and be a huge star, which is why he's doing it. So best of luck to you, Hobbs, because I think you're pretty good.
Yeah, and I'll be always rooting for Hobbs in his corner, because like he said, I saw him quite a few times, a couple times, when I saw AEW live. I've been within 3 feet of him once. The first time I actually showed you, I sent a picture where I just went to go get a Pepsi at the concessions, and bro was just standing there, like an NPC, just in SmackDown versus Raw, wandering. Just waiting in the terminal. And then the other time, I feel like Mr. Hobbs, if you are out there and you are listening to this, there was one time where I was sitting not front row, but front of the risers at AEW, and he came over to say hi to somebody, and I instinctively saw him and yelled out, "Hobbs!" Because in my wrestling dumbass brain, I thought he was coming out to like attack somebody. It was on a dark match, by the way. He came out, and I felt like such a douche because he was just trying to say hi to somebody. So, Hobbs, if you're out there, my bad. I do think that he kind of did get a Raw deal to a certain extent in terms of booking, kind of flip-flopping between face and heel a bit, and not really gaining as much momentum as he should at points. However, WWE booking is what WWE booking is, so I won't hold it against him if the same thing happens over there. But we'll see. Hopefully it works out. Hopefully they see something good in him, and we'll be back here complaining in about 2 months when he's Jericho's heavy. And speaking of Jericho, with all these signings that AEW has, you have to imagine that this only certifies Jericho probably showing up in the Fed even more, right?
It's gotta be. I mean, like we said, they signed like 10 people. That's just gotta add up to a Jericho contract, like you were saying earlier. Everybody's assuming he's gonna go to WWE, and this, like you said, it only piles more evidence on that Jericho's gone.
Yeah, I mean, we've kind of known for a minute now that Jericho's probably going over there. This just only like keeps that idea moving forward. It's not like that's just starts and ends at Hobbs for WWE's auditions, because recently they also had more tryouts in Orlando, and there were quite a few notable names on that list there.
Yeah. And I mean, we do say younger talent. I believe Hobbs is 35, which is, hey, for WWE, that's pretty young. You got 10 more years till you're a main eventer over there. But yeah, there's also, I would say, 2 big names from the WWE tryout. One being actually a really good young wrestler who we've seen a lot in Japan, and Starboy Charlie, and also in GCW around American Indies, just around. DPW Starboy Charlie, that's the guy. I mean, he's very different. He comes out, he's almost like a modern day Spike Dudley in a way, who's way more athletic. If you don't know who Starboy Charlie is, he comes out in the coveralls and he does the Jimi Hendrix, kind of weed guy gimmick a little bit, but he doesn't go too far on it like the Rascals do. And then also another wrestler we've seen a lot in DPW and across the American Indies, who also is, I believe, a trainer already in his own right and in his mid-30s, like Powerhouse Hobbs, and also has some similarities to Powerhouse Hobbs in the muscle department, a big, jacked up motherfucker in LeBron Cozone.
Yes, sir.
We're really high on Cozone.
Granted, they definitely had their eyes on DPW for sure. I mean, they had like Javon Evans is like a main guy there now that they got from DPW, and going to the well of good indie talent, they got some good selections there for the tryouts, and we'll see what happens after it. But that a part of that list, those names stuck out there, and hopefully best success to them for sure.
For sure. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't really want to see either go to WWE for my personal tastes, but sure. That's a payday right there. I understand it. And I do think that especially LeBron Cozone, there is no limit. The potential is so high with a guy like Cozone. You look at what Obafemi's doing right now. Imagine Obafemi has been doing this for over a decade, and it's really, really, really good.
But that's pretty much all of the transactions that happened over the past week or so in regards to American promotion talent. Let's get some Japanese headlines in here right now, because boy howdy, there was a little bit of a surprise when I woke up. I'm pretty sure it was Wednesday. I woke up and I saw on my Twitter that Shingo Takagi and Natsupoi got hitched. This was not on my news radar at all. This was a shock. Good Lord.
It's kind of crazy. I know it doesn't seem like this is huge news, but the sheer shock that this was wild. We didn't know they were dating. They went from just nothing, radio silence, to being like, hey, we're married. Which, I guess that's how Joshi operate ever since the olden days. But it was so weird to see. These are two of the bigger stars in their respective promotions. Obviously, they're owned by the same company. They collaborate a lot, so that's probably how they met and started, forming a relationship. But, it was a shock. A pure and utter shock that they're just married. I didn't necessarily know they were compatible with each other. Also, I thought, to be honest with you, Natsupoi had Ano. To be honest with you, I didn't necessarily think there was a further relationship, but I wasn't thinking about anything besides that relationship.
It's like the closest thing for non-wrestling fans. Let's try to put this into context for them. What is this relationship like? First thing that came to mind was Timothy Chalamet and Dame Judi Dench or something like that. Just some odd couple.
It's crazy. And also the part about it is that Goto told him last year that he's single. Like, you're 40, why are you single? Which spurred Shingo on to really push for a marriage. They've only been dating since 2024. They've been dating for, I think, less than a year. Or less than 2 years, little over a year. So Goto and the Goto Revolution is yet again responsible for more and more love in this world. Praise be to Goto.
Another Japanese news. Marigold announced recently that they're holding a 15th anniversary show for one Mayu Atani set for January 24th. That is, at this point, next week. Hopefully there will be some matches announced for that, and we will cover them. Because praise be to Mayu, and hopefully there's something for that show.
Shows are always fun.
Kenta Kobashi produced Fortune Dream 11 is on April 16th at Korakuen Hall. And one of the matches that has been announced is a triple threat match. First entrant that was announced was Saray. the Sun God. She's in a match. And since it's a Japanese wrestling show with Joshi's on it, you know for a fact that Hashimoto is getting booked on there. She was announced, Chihiro Hashimoto was announced as the second participant. And as for the third participant, we'll have to wait until next week to figure that out. And we will report it. We will report it live.
Who do you want it to be?
I'm not sure, honestly. I wouldn't mind
Shuri.
Yeah,
probably the ultimate get. I think, or a Takumi Iroha potentially rematch, or not a rematch, but Mayu and Takumi had a match recently, so it makes sense that they might want to put them together again. My not prediction, but if I was booking my fantasy booking, Mio Momono. That's who I would choose. Is Marvelous's Mio Momono, a little she-devil gremlin girl to mix with the hard-hitting action of Suri and the pure heavyweight powerhouse that is Chihiro Hashimoto.
Yeah, well, as King steals my picks, which hopefully doesn't continue, we'll tell you who it is next week. And either way, I'm excited for this, and we'll see. As for that, we're out of the meat of the wrestling news for this week. So why don't we get on to some of the matches that happened this week? And on the topic of Big Hosh, she had a pretty notable match this week, didn't she, Kang?
Yeah, really, really good match with Saya Ida, who has come on strong as a singles wrestler in the past, really, 3 months or so. She's getting match after match. And I, for one, am so happy for that, because I think Saya Ida, we saw it, 2 years ago, we saw that she has potential as a big star in Stardom and in Joshi, I think Saya Ida does. And this match just yet again proved it. And obviously, Chihiro Hashimoto is who she is. The biggest star in Sendai Girls, beat everybody and will continue to beat everybody until the end of time. And this match was, I would say it was no different in that way. But Ida really, really fought throughout it all and made a really hard-hitting, hard-slamming match that was worth a watch for sure.
Yeah, when you're someone of Saya Ida's stature, it's going to be hard to really try to do like a strength versus strength sort of basis for a match against somebody like Hash, who compared to her is much larger. But I think they did it really well here with the match here. Like there's early, tests of strength that was really engaging. Some really good mat grappling in the first part. They were doing their best in terms of what the story had at hand, which was who is stronger. That was the framework of what the match was.
Strong.
Yeah, but as the match progressed, the difference maker ended up being, in your words, who had more gumption. And in the end, Hash ended up having the most gumption and finished her off with an absolutely monstrous powerbomb. And what a match this was. They ended up doing some really good strike exchanges. There was one point where Aida locked in a Dragon Sleeper attempt. Hash turned it into an arm hold, and then Saida wrenched her back and held on to the Dragon Sleeper. I enjoyed that spot a lot. Yeah. There was the corner bomb spot that we both lost our minds at. Just a great time. Great little strength battle. Aida was bumping her ass off. I had a good time with this one.
Yeah, I think exactly what you said. It was a lot of strength. You saw Aida at points try to ground Hashimoto, but then I think it was really that she wanted to test her mettle and prove that she could be as strong or at that level of Hashimoto. And despite the loss, I think she proved it.
Yeah. I think both people ended up coming out of this match looking pretty good. On Pro Wrestling Noah Legacy Rise 2026, we had a singles match between Makasa coming off his big win against Hiromu Takahashi, facing off against Daiki Odashima for the junior heavyweight title. And I thought this match was good. I'll get the negatives out of the way and say it was lacking a bit in overall feeling and intensity for the urgency of a title match. However, I felt like more or less like they did enough action that made me enjoy it. Like it was pretty like, hard hitting as it was fluid. Dashima is pretty good with his, strikes. I put over Makasa heavy in our Amakasa and Takahashi review. How he's just pretty much like a good, if you imagine a junior in your head, it's Amakasa, and they just end up having a good old match.
Yeah, I think that it was interesting to see the dichotomy in the last two Amakasa matches we've watched and talked about in the underdog challenger versus Hiromu, and then in this, of course, Dashima, I'm not sure how tall he is, but he's kind of a small man. Amakasa was the overbearing champion in this one. It was the last two matches we've seen completely different roles for Amakasa. I think he did well in both. I definitely prefer him from underneath though. And I think Odashima really impressed me in this match. I think it's worth watching for the point of seeing how Odashima is progressing as a junior. He's, like you said, his strikes are rough, and I think his fire at points in this match was real. I mean, he would just get up and start screaming, which I don't know about all you watching, but there's something about it when it means that much more to somebody else that's wrestling in that ring, it means that much more to me. And I felt it at points. I thought Odashima was the MVP, the person that caught my eye in this match. But yeah, like you said, a lot of problems with it. I think it ran a little bit long. I think a lot of Noah runs a little bit long, their matches, including the match that we're going to talk about next.
Oh, we'll get to it. We will get to it.
Although I think there's only like 16. The next one really, really, really goes a lot longer than it should.
Yeah, to finish up the point about this match, like the actual like mechanics of the match, like visually speaking, like it went okay. Like I wouldn't say like in terms of like some of the selling at points, it could be a bit lackluster, but in terms of like each man's strikes, like I think they were able to hold each other in a pretty good chemistry together. Like Odashima's strikes were more like vicious and quick, while Amakasa's were more clubbing, and in terms of the story of the match, more effective. There is a beautiful bridging fisherman suplex into a pin, into a headlock. That was really good. Definitely still some meat on the bone here to chew off of this match, for sure. But
definitely. I mean, Odashima's 24 years old. He's been in the ring for this is his second year in wrestling. To see him this far, I mean, he might be the future of junior heavyweight wrestling.
Indeed. Well, we'll get to some heavyweight action right now. We got...
Boy, do we mean it.
Yes, sir. We got Masa Kitamiya versus Yoshiki Inamura for the GHC heavyweight title. And, yeah, to your point earlier, this match went pretty freaking long. There is so much in this match. They fit, like, probably like 3 matches worth of spots into, like, one match. So it starts out as, like, this grunty yet competitive strength battle. They trade off a bit in terms of head scissors and pins. Notably, Inamura gets Masa down on a head scissors, and then they trade control for a bit, and they go out, do some standstills where they will lock up, break apart, look into the crowd, and they did that quite a bit. And I was thinking, okay, so this will be like a nice, respectful affair. I was sorely mistaken. Yoshitatsu gets his ass into here. Fuck off, Yoshitatsu. I'm trying to enjoy this.
Yeah.
Because, like, before the interference, like, this was a pretty, like, straight-laced match, all things considered. Masa speared the pole, and then, all of a sudden, his goons get in there. By the end, like, by the middle, we were getting into, like, third act category in terms of bomb after bomb. And after a certain point, we were like, okay, so that's a bomb there, pin attempt, okay. That's a bomb there, pin attempt, okay. That's a bomb attempt, okay, when is this match ending?
I mean, like you said, they had 2 separate interference spots, like 2 separate long interference spots. then you could have done with one. You know, it felt like a lot of what people complain about, a lot of what I complain about with big main event WWE matches, and then it goes 30 minutes, has a whole bunch of interferences, and you wind up not really caring by the end and just wishing it was over. It was still an enjoyable match. There was a lot to like about it, but if you shave 10 minutes off this match is really good.
Yeah, I mean, like, to like add to your point there about like the WWE style booking, like that's probably what they were going for. I mean, by the second interference spot, you had Keno run out there to make the save to even up the odds. Like that's like straight up, you know, that like we see that on like Mid-South every week when we rewatch it, for Christ's sake. Like that, it's that sort of style of booking. And like the first one I was fine with because like, you know, the goons show up, Inamura fights him off for a bit, shows he's powerful, then the odds are too much, and then they get back to what they were doing. But if you're just going to have, you know, the Keno running spot, might as well just have the interference towards the end. That's how I see it, at least. But
yeah, I agree.
The action here, there was still quite a bit to like go off of here, because as much as like, you know, we'll talk about here how, you know, there could have been some stuff shaved off of here. There were like, out of all the separate bombs that happened, good Lord, these people could throw some bombs. I tell you this, like towards the end, we were getting kind of furious at the match length, but still there was a flying headbutt from Inamura that came out of nowhere that like snapped me out of it.
The shoot headbutt.
Oh my God.
And Masa gets the blood trickling down his forehead. Like, there is so much of this match that is really, really good and really, really enjoyable that I wish it wasn't bogged down by the major problems with it.
And this will be a key theme here is once we get into the next match, similar situation where long match could have been shaved off a little bit, but the high points of the match were pretty darn good. And off of that point, we'll get into our next match here as we head to Stardom. For New Year's Stars 2026 in Cork and Hall, we have Hazuki and Mei Seira from day 2. And this match, I gave the prior one some credit in terms of the match length being like bogging down some otherwise really great moments. The highs of this match were stellar. Like they were going balls to the wall fast as possible. And like, I'll get that out of the way to say that they could have shaved a little bit off towards the end, but I'll be damned if the highs of this match weren't some of the best this week.
Absolutely. It was clearly far and away the best match of the week. The only real match that I would say, if you don't have the time to watch a whole bunch of wrestling, seek this one out. It's what you expect from Seira Mei. It's high speed action. It's what you expect from Hazuki. It's high speed, just brutal, stiff action. With a lot of, I mean, it's a very, very quick, very fast-paced, relentless match. They go for close to 20 minutes, and like I said, at the end, it starts to get a little too much. But for the first 15-plus minutes, you can't even breathe.
Like when
just went and went.
When they start going, there's no stopping them. They were delivering counter after counter within the same sequences that were mind-boggling to even keep up with, let alone try to figure out how they were doing so in real time. Some of the later act bombs that Hazuki was throwing out, and for me personally, I was never like I never had my eye caught by Hazuki's wrestling. I always enjoyed matches with her in it, but I never really got her. This match kind of told me a bit like, hey, she's pretty good, because
they were hooping.
Oh yeah, like there was like a whole sequence where Hazuki was just kicking Mei's ass with just like a rope DDT, that was like a draping DDT from the top rope. That was absolutely nasty. A nasty like suplex gut buster that she threw out there. There was I'll tell you this, and you'll remember this.
Codebreaker variations.
Yeah. The major one that sticks out in my head was when she did a sunset flip powerbomb off of the top rope, and when she set Mei down, she bounced off the floor like crazy.
Yeah. She legitimately just bounced up. And that's what Mei Seira was, I think, great at, was bumping and selling. She was doing an amazing job, and throughout it all, she fought through it she kept going and going and fighting throughout. Because I think you look at this match, she's at a clear disadvantage pretty much the whole way. She has her hope spots, but I mean, Hazuki is clear, far and away the favorite here all throughout. But I mean, it takes 2 different top rope sentons. I mean, the shock of the crowd whenever she kicked out of the first one was crazy, and the second one, just as crazy. And another brain buster, and then a slam again before she could even be put down. I mean, she just kept coming, which, like you said, we had a little problem with it at the end, but also it was kind of the story. So I give it a little bit of a curve on the grade, because the story is that while she's outmatched with the sheer amount of bombs Hazuki has, it takes an army. And I think it was a match that honestly separates Joshi wrestling from their male counterpart,
right?
With how the pace of it was, and the fluidity and the stiffness. I think if you want to see a match that kind of represents the difference in Joshi and why we like it over, just male wrestling, this is a pretty good one to watch.
Leap off of your point there, like, it definitely did feel a bit indulgent towards the end, but you are right in that it does feed into the story. It just kind of felt like there was a disconnect between that element of the match as well as the crowd's anticipation for what the ending of the match was, because they did kind of peak a bit too early in terms of where the pinfall felt like it should have been in terms of crowd interaction. However, it can be kind of given a pass there, to your point. But still, like, what a match. Like, I'd be remiss in not even mentioning that backstabber that happened. You and I winced when we were watching that, where Miz, like, hanging on the side of the ropes, and then Hazuki comes over and just absolutely, like, stretches her back. She makes her bend in a way that made me scared. Like, what an absolute amazing backstabber. Hit her with a bunch of sentons, code breaker, and then, yeah, she finishes her off after maybe one too many moves, but at the end of the day, it was still far and away the best match of the week. All right, so now we're at the halftime part of the show. This is a kind of a news segment, more or less just a placeholder segment at the moment. Once people actually start noticing us and we start getting Blue Chew ads, that'll be placed here. Until then, we'll just leave the spot open for random bullshit. Kang, is there anything you want to shout out this week that is non-wrestling related?
Okay. I got this. Shout out to my main man, Hugo Gonzalez. If you know, you know.
Shout out to Danish Jenkins. Take that, bitch. This week, we will be discussing our hot takes, our predictions for 2026 in wrestling. And this isn't just for, a specific show, what we think, so-and-so will win, though it'll be a little bit of it. This is just some general predictions that we have for the year in wrestling. And, yeah, Kang, what do you think of 2026? What do you see for wrestling?
What do I see for wrestling? Well, I think I'll start mine off with the with the biggest thing that could happen in wrestling, and that's hardly even an over-exaggeration. This year, 2026. Hold on, let me look something up real quick. 2026, this year, at 80 years old, Vince McMahon will die.
Wow. I didn't have any death predictions on mine, but that's a fair one. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that have that in mind, have that as a potential wish. So that's not
for it a bit.
Yeah, that's not a bad prediction at all, really. I mean, he hasn't been in the chair in like 2 years. So
stuff. Yeah, I imagine he's deteriorating pretty quickly. I'll also say for this, I'm not like wishing death on people here, but I think he dies before Joe Biden, who has cancer.
Whoa, what's the over under on that? Is there like I mean, I assume like you can bet on that for sure. Like you can bet on anything now.
Oh yeah, Polymarket, baby.
We'll set it up now for the Riverbed people. We'll set up a betting thing. For legal purposes, we won't. But you can send me money based on if you think either Vince or Joe Biden will die within the next however long.
That's my small little prediction. It's just he dies.
Well, I can't really bounce off of that because I don't have any real death predictions. But I will give some life predictions in terms of WWE and specifically NXT. Basing off of our earlier comments regarding the tryouts. And I was hyping up LeBron Cozone, I'm going to put it out as prediction. This guy is the future face of NXT, and it could happen as soon as this year. Good Lord, LeBron Cozone has everything in his sights that they could easily just, hey, we'll give you the title. Trust me, there would be plenty of people who could feasibly see that guy's walking in, taking a belt, becoming the face almost instantly. There's few people that you could theoretically see that in. Cozone is definitely an exception to that rule.
I think I agree completely. I mean, he's work rate wise, as soon as he walks in NXT, he's probably the best that they would have in terms of men. And obviously he's got charisma. Look at him. He just look at his body. Just look at him go. He's a magnet for the female audience. Is a magnet for the male audience that likes cool, badass wrestlers. I think he could very well get over really, really quick with hardcores and casuals alike.
Oh, for sure. Like if you have like a foot in each sort of pot there, like you're for sure gonna get a groundswell of support, even if like that isn't there for the creative team. I don't know why they wouldn't, but in case they don't see anything, there's probably gonna be a outpouring of fan support that would more than likely overtake that if they don't already have him in their sights to be the top guy.
Well, especially knowing that his name, there's no way he's going to be LeBron. He might be able to keep Cozone. There's no shot they're letting him keep LeBron, even though it's completely spelled differently and you have the same name as a different person. He's going to have a completely different name, and that could fuck him immediately.
What if they just like replace his A with an E and just say, fuck it, he's LeBron now?
Yeah, he's fucking LeBron. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I do think he very well could be NXT champion this time next year.
Well,
if he signed.
In terms of young talent, there's quite a bit out there. And I'll go with my next prediction here. And we go a little bit more down south to Mexico, where I believe there will be a flagship bearing MVP for this year. And in terms of Mexican wrestling MVP for this year, I see it being Mascara Dorada. Recently signed an official dual contract. He is both in AEW and CMLL, mainly CMLL. And with the amount of matches that might be coming his way this year, the sheer volume, I think will help his direction go even more into being known as one of the best young talents out there. And I'm really hoping that he gets booked a lot because I love seeing him wrestle.
Yeah, I agree. I think volume, if I can equate it to more, to other sports, he's right now he's a highlight machine, getting minutes off the bench, it almost feels like. And with signing with AEW and obviously getting a bigger push in CMLL as Mystico's best friend, it seems like he's about to stop being that highlight guy and he's about to be a volume scorer. He about to go out there and, like you said, be potentially the MVP of this year for Mexican wrestling. I see that. I buy that. I guess we should be doing buy or sell for each other's predictions. I don't even have an idea I'm coming up with live. I'm buying both of yours so far. You gonna buy into the Vince McMahon dying?
I'll chip in a few bucks. Why not? Fuck.
Well, piggybacking off of Dorada, because I do have a prediction that involves Dorada in a way.
Ooh, okay.
A smaller way. I think that this year there will be a Forbidden Door-like, I'm not necessarily sure it'll be called Forbidden Door, but a Forbidden Door-like show in Mexico with AEW and CMLL. Most likely Arena Mexico, but I could see them running Estadio Azul. Probably not Estadio Azteca. That's like 90,000 people they seat. That'd be very bullish. But I mean, they sold out Arena Mexico like that, like immediately for Grand Slam. I could see them trying to move it to a stadium. And I predict that Místico, MJF, for the AEW World Championship, a rematch, a rubber match, I would believe, even though they've kind of ended the feud with that bloody affair. I think they're going to have a rematch this time with the world title on the line. And here's another little prediction for you. Inside of it, Dorada in that match is Místico's second, as he usually is a lot of times. And at that time, that's going to play into the match, he is a semifinalist in the Owen Cup.
Ooh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I think Dorada's going to be on.
Really? I would love to see him in the Owen Cup, let alone getting that far. Like, he's amazing. Human highlight reel, like you said. And yeah, we're both buying in on Dorada, and I'm excited to see what he does this year. But to piggyback off of what you said, in terms of an AEW related main event, boy, do I have a prediction. And this is one that a lot of people are hoping for. This is probably the likeliest prediction on my list. Wembley, main event. Gotta be Will Ospreay in there, right?
100%.
Yeah.
Back in London and Wembley. I think he's actually, if you want me to say what I would have booked, I'd want it to be Will Ospreay and Mascara Dorada in the semifinals of the Owen Cup. Ospreay moving on to the finals. That'd be my fantasy booking.
Who would you want to see Ospreay face at Wembley? Because like first thought goes to like, you know,
it's not MJF.
Not MJF, but something along the lines of like maybe like a Fletcher again, do another Takeshita match maybe. They're always good. Or do you have any ideas for maybe something new that we could have? Like a new matchup for Ospreay? Because he's only been in the company for like 2 years max?
Yeah, since early 2024.
Yeah.
So I think Swerve is a very likely outcome, but I honestly think I would run Ospreay Swerve in the finals of the Owen Hart Cup. I really don't know. It's really, you know what? Actually, never mind. I do know. And this is fantasy booking. This is hoping that the man can be healthy and come back to what he is. Will Ospreay, Kenny Omega, 3.
Oh, dude.
Wembley. Kenny Omega as the incumbent champion.
I would love to see that. There we are. Well, Kang, what is your next?
You buying
mine? Honestly, if it's,
I've already bought yours. I bought yours before you even said it.
I'll if it's Forbidden Door event, I'd say I'm not buying it, but I'm happy to be wrong.
I think for sure there's going to be at least another Grand Slam Arena Mexico, but I hope they make it.
Grand Slam, yes. Forbidden Door-esque event, I'm not sure. I'm less agreeing on that. Though they have to run another show there. Like after the success of last year, like at the very least they're running another Grand Slam. I just don't know if it's going to be anything larger than that.
That's what I think. I think they're going to run Estadio Azul and seat 40,000 people for a giant crossover event. They'll probably have some New Japan people too. I think it'll be a whole big combination, but it's going to be AEW, CMLL, and there's also going to be Forbidden Door still. I think we're going to this year start a new tradition of a big AEW, CMLL crossover show. That's my hope, at least. But my next one is okay. I'll do this one. Yuya Uemura will win the G1 Climax. And now this is for 2027, but he will also challenge for it at Wrestle Kingdom on January 4th, 2027 against Yota Tsuji, who holds it for the entire year, and win the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, leading, I'm not sure if it's direct aftermath or New Year's Dash, maybe a month or two later, leading to a full Shota Umino heel turn. All three of our big players of the Reiwa Musketeers. I know he's not in the Reiwa Musketeers, but let's be honest, Ren Narita ain't gonna fucking be that guy. I think all three of these guys this time next year, due to my booking right here, will be solidified as top dogs in the company. Their roles will be defined. And I think that's what's going to happen. I think Yuya's going to win the G1 and the championship from Yota Tsuji. Will make Shota Umino very angry because Yuya accomplishes his goal in the first try. Shota Umino had his worst ever career moment after his try. So I think that'll lead to a lot of resentment and disdain.
Yeah, and that is a good take to buy in on. I personally don't have like a good gauge on what the G1 or the later half of the year is going to look like for New Japan. But to definitely, wholeheartedly, full weight piggyback on what you just said, I do have a prediction for Yuya Uemura. But it doesn't relate to G1. It relates to the New Japan Cup. Because he is a heavy favorite to win the New Japan Cup from what I'm seeing online. And in terms of the New Japan Cup finals, I see this being the final match. I see it being Yuya Uemura facing off against another person from the Cup last year. Someone who didn't even make it past round 2. Someone who got counted out and lost to Taichi. I'm, of course, talking about Gabe Kidd. I'm talking about Yuya Uemura and Gabe Kidd for New Japan Cup finals this year.
Heat Storm, Gabe Kidd. That is an interesting prediction. I like that. My thoughts, my hopes, and I think it very well could happen, is to pin Oiwa as the winner of that New Japan Cup and then, of course, fail at Dominion to get, to really start getting his push together. That's what I personally think might happen. But I could very well see them going for the Yuya, going for basically what I predicted, but, shifting it to be earlier in the year.
Yeah, because I definitely want them to start, including Oiwa more, and in fact, I'll probably be rooting for him if he's in the G1, for sure, but...
I will too.
Yeah, but in terms of, early success and what I see them probably going for, I see them getting Uemura something. Not sure if it's G1. I'd say probably it's likely you're headed to New Japan Cup. The only variable in mind that I could see maybe faltering is maybe Gabe Kidd, depending on what they do with him prior, but... If he leaves, yeah, for sure. But if everything is as it is now, that's what I see being the finals for the Cup this year.
And Yuya wins.
Yeah.
I could buy that. I mean, that definitely seems incredibly plausible. I would just be wondering what's going to happen with the G1. Is Yuya going to double up? Or who might win that G1 if it's not one of those young guys that they're going to start to push as a top dog?
I could
be Shota.
If it's a more generalized prediction that I could throw out there, probably what might happen is whoever wins the Cup will be in the G1 and they will hint towards, are they going to double up and use it as a red herring? Maybe they'll reach the final bracket, but I don't think they'll double up on Cup and G1 wins.
I mean, maybe we see the combination of both of our things, in which Yuya wins the New Japan Cup, and then it leads to eventually a Yuya versus Shota Umino G1 final.
That would be nice. I mean, at the end of the day, as long as Oiwa or Uemura get booked in either, I'll be happy, you'll be happy, and above all, the fans will be happy. Fans, give yourselves a round of applause. We are going on to our final predictions. And Kang, what is your final prediction for... Two. Oh, you still got 2. Well, hold your applause, audience. We still got 2 from Kang here. Kang, get your second to last one.
Okay, this is... What the hell happened? My whole screen went black. Am I still here?
Yeah, you're still here.
Okay, that was weird. That was scary. I mean, I was just about to go on, and then... My entire computer crashed for a second.
It was TVSIE. They're after us already.
They're getting us. This is the one that I'm least confident about, I would say. I'm pretty confident it'll happen, but not this year. I think WWE will bounce back critically with hardcores, but struggle with casuals that they've built over the past 5 years. See the John Cena retirement match, if you want an example of what I kind of mean there. I think we'll see a lot of people going, oh, they're actually getting better now. And then a lot of people that are new going, it sucks. Where's what we had? You know, I think that's what's going to happen. And I think combined with ticket prices and oversaturation of events, which is what we're already dealing with, I think it's going to lead to Triple H being scapegoated and replaced as head booker.
Yeah, he's definitely facing the hot seat this year for sure. Like, as you said, like with the end of the Cena and Gunther match, like he was booed out the building. He had the whole, post-show thing where people chanting at him, AEW, and, everything under the sun that they could. But yeah, he's definitely facing the hot seat this year. Everybody's pretty much assuming that at some point Dwayne's going to be coming in and just saying like, hey there, pal, you know how you're a creative guy? No, you're not. And then he just comes in. And generally speaking, like this year, I do have a feeling like you said where AEW will have like a better creative year. And in terms of the entire scope for America, I can see it like balancing out a bit between WWE and AEW in terms of fan outlook. AEW had a great bounce back year last year. However, like their momentum can shift wildly depending on certain key issues here or there. But WWE having a better year is always a weird one to bet on because you kind of feel like a dolt if it doesn't come true because why would you bet that? But also, just in terms of last year,
insanity.
Yeah, in terms of last year, their reputation kind of went down the toilet a bit, so you got to think there's got to be at least some minimal improvement somewhere.
Yeah. I think if I were to give you my actual prediction, I think Triple H will be replaced as head booker, but it'll be a few years from now when their financials actually start to get affected from this.
Yeah.
I think they're still making money right now, and they will continue to make money right now, but eventually they'll realize, oh, this money is drying up. The products, everybody hates the product, and it'll probably be in 2 to 3 years. But hey, if they have a year, if they have a drop off this year similar to the drop off they had last year, he's gone by April. Is what I'll say.
Man, that would suck having to upload an entire Mania review for this show and then like literally right after he gets kicked. Triple H, if you're listening out there, don't get fired right after Mania because that'll break my heart and my upload schedule. But as for that prediction, I can definitely buy into it. I can buy into it. There's been quite a bubbling hot seat for him for a minute, so it's...
And he's being scapegoated completely.
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest fan of Triple H as a booker, but it's obvious the problems that many people have with WWE ticket prices and
they come from higher up.
Yeah.
But enough about American shit. Let's talk about some Joshi. Let me talk about my prediction for Joshi Wrestling this year. Saya, your girl, Saya Kamatani. She got the red belt. And I see her holding that belt for the rest of the year up until she gets defeated for it. And who do you believe that will be the one to defeat Saya for the red belt?
It's a interesting question because it might play into my prediction, so I'll predict somebody different for now.
Okay.
I think what would be the most interesting from a homegrown talent perspective, from what they're already kind of booking right now, would be somebody like Starlight Kid. She's not gonna get the win right away.
No.
I'm not saying that. But I could see her winning it down the line.
Yeah. I mean, how old is she again?
We don't know. I think, right? No, they don't tell us. But she's like, I don't know, 23, something like that.
Something like that, yeah. Another 23-year-old that I do have down here as a potential suitor to beat Saya is Izumi. That is my bold take.
Ooh.
That
After the match last year, they're an absolute banger.
Yes. Probably could be a rematch that we could have Saya legitimately lose at. And Izumi, I feel like she'd be great for that red belt role. And Saya, I don't believe she's going to lose the belt anytime soon at time of recording this, but she might hold it until like maybe, I don't know, October, November, sometime around there, and drop it then. That's how I see it.
if she doesn't drop it in April at All-Star Grand. That's the very obvious potential, just dropping it at their Mania.
Sure.
I don't think she will. But I do think that is something I'd buy into for certain. I don't think it'll be Azumi. I think Azumi probably have like a big long reign with the white belt instead. I don't necessarily think they see Azumi at that level yet. I would predict maybe Shuri going back for it again after their match at Wrestle Kingdom, or the Starlight Kid, because she's already had the white belt reign, is being positioned to be one of their top stars now, or Momo Watanabe coming back after losing her challenge and winning the tournament again. That could potentially be a thing. But yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily buy it, but if it happens, I'd be really, really happy.
Yeah, well, let's see what your last prediction here is, because
so mine, I personally think this is the most ambitious one, but I also think it's it's been talked about. I think the interpromotional era of Joshi wrestling begins anew this year. We had it, 30 years ago. We had big interpromotional events, and I think a major collaborative event this year will be announced for the Nippon Budokan, not the Tokyo Dome. Tokyo Dome, I think they might need a proof of concept before they get in there with Joshi. I think we'll see a Nippon Budokan, which is a huge arena that I believe the last Joshi show to run there was Stardom's 10th anniversary. Hint, hint, we're now at the 15th anniversary. Could be seeing something there. And I think the show will be headlined, get this right, by Saya Kamitani, defending her red belt against Mercedes Moné.
Ooh, okay. If they're doing a whole multi-promotional big card, you'd have to assume that like they would want like a big name such as Moné to like carry like that sort of name recognition for that card, especially for facing someone like Saya, who can easily lead us into that generation of interpromotional rapport amongst Joshi.
Yeah, I mean, she said it before. She said it last year that Saya Kamitani, her goal right now, after being on national television and driving up sales for Stardom, is the Tokyo Dome. That's what she wants to do. She wants to run a Joshi event in the Tokyo Dome. She got to compete at the Tokyo Dome a few weeks ago, and I think she's going to be, and Stardom are going to be pushing hard to get that show. And there's no way, I think, right now that you could do it with just one company. I think you have to do interpromotional. I don't know if Marigold joins in. I thought about maybe, Saya versus Io, something like that. I think that would anger the partners.
Yeah, that might muddy the waters up a bit.
Mercedes Moné, who I think is a huge star in her own right. And I think probably if this event were to happen, that would be the match.
Yeah.
I don't think you could find a bigger match. Maybe Toni Storm. That's the only thing I could think of.
You think it'll happen? You said at Budokan, you said?
Yeah, the Nippon Budokan, which hasn't been ran by a Joshi promotion in 5 years.
So I'll tell you this. I'll buy into that, but as long as you promise that we all go on a boys trip to Kyoto for that event.
We're gonna be live at the Nippon Budokan with our socks sitting down, shoes off.
Yeah.
Chilling on the mats.
I'm gonna be like,
pretty sick.
I'm gonna be like, wow, this is where Cheap Trick played. This is sick. You ready for that concert in March?
Oh, hell yeah.
Hell yeah. But that's our predictions for 2026. And Kang, I just have one more question to ask on this podcast episode. And this is a surprise one here, so I'm putting you on the spot. I know this will be a lot to take in. But Kang, what do you believe will be the main event of WrestleMania this year? And my prediction is Cody Rhodes versus Mr. Beast. Go.
Oh. Well, if you ask me next year, I think it'll be Saudi Arabia, Mr. Beast versus I Show Speed. But this year in Las Vegas, I'm trying to think of how I want to answer it. I think Cody Rhodes will be facing Roman Reigns. Yeah, there you go.
But
Cody versus Roman.
But Kang, the dirt sheet said that was off the table. Why you think they would produce misinformation and lie about that?
I do.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Well,
I mean, the based one, night one, I think has great potential to be Sami Zayn and CM Punk. So if you want me to say that one, I will.
Yeah, I'd be cool with that. One of the better Raw matches last year for sure. In terms of my prediction, here's how I see it. Right, Cody Rhodes, Mr. Beast main event. Mr. Beast wins the title, and then SummerSlam, Mr. Beast face off against Badlands Chugs. That's your SummerSlam night 2. That's your SummerSlam night 2 main event. And as for night 1 of Mania, it's going to be Roman and Dwayne. Somehow even more of a meme.
You think Badlands chugs the entire Prime Hydration station?
Oh my god. No, even better.
He eats all the lunch leaf.
And he's just like, oh, I can't drink all that.
All of a sudden, hear the glass shatter. And, oh my god. Could it be? It is. I can't believe it. It's Jake Paul.
Oh no. Oh no. I think.
And what's that?
No.
It's Travis Scott.
No, don't. Man, I should have not asked you anything. What was I thinking? Well, this has been Riverbed Wrestling episode 3. Thank you guys for partaking in our.
Oh my god, it's Andrade!
Oh my god. But thank you all for partaking in our bullshit together and tolerating us. We enjoy some wrestling, and I'm glad you guys come along with us. And King, what should we discuss next week?
Next week will be discussing the socioeconomic state of the world.
Oh, hell no.